Hey, this is gonna be pretty cool. Now I'm finally in shot. Can't really see my behind of my mirror, but I am in shot, and that is pretty cool. So this is how I do this. I put the mic right here, then I start driving. Maybe I should like hook up this mic up here. Well, I think that's cool. I'm not gonna touch it. All right. Positive Convictions Kickstarter is going is going well. 5 days left. In 5 days, I have to get like just above $2,500 for the marketing campaign that we're doing. Bring this thing down a bit. So yeah, this is it. Things are nearing completion, nearing its final result, and it's unbelievable. So this kind of like, I wanted to talk about this this back network that nobody really knows about, of all the people that influenced me to make this of what it is today. Now, not in terms of its content. I already talked about that video, and let's make this yellow light. Woo woo! Slow down. Not in a way of content, because I talked about in that video of what makes an album great video, as I was driving up to the Bay Area from SAC. But in terms of its quality, in terms of its technical things, and then the first thing that alarmed me to produce quality music and not release the music before it's properly mixed, mastered, and you know, all that stuff. My friend 4J, Alex Terentiv, out of Ukraine, at that time formerly part of the Gospel People collective. Man, he wasn't even part of Gospel People collective at that time, in 2009, I believe. But here he is living in Ukraine and making top-notch quality music. I mean, from production, mixing, and mastering point, it competes with the quality that you hear in the mainstream. So, and here I am from the States looking at this. Here are people who have so much less resources and so much less opportunities than we have in the States, and they're producing top-notch quality sounding music that we here in the States, we should have no excuse for not making good quality music. Bay Area, that's for you. I don't mean to back in the Bay Area, that's where I'm from, but a lot of times in the Bay Area, it seems like most of the beats are just simple, underproduced beats, and for me, that was very, very alarming. Eye-opening that here you are in places that don't have as much resources and opportunities. They're teaching us. They're putting us to sleep. So 4J came through and just super encouraged me, and kind of showed me the light of things that, hey, if we're gonna be doing this for the Lord, make it top quality, top notch. Don't compromise. Why is it that the mainstream is setting the standards for us, and we're imitating that, where as Christians, as believers, as those who believe in the Creator who made us in His own image to create and to be fruitful and multiply in all that we do, here we are not doing it to top-notch quality. Hashtag positive conviction. So 4J is a huge inspiration in my life in terms of getting me to that mind state, that mentality that, hey, I'm gonna go all out and I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it as good as it could be. So second kind of group of people is my War Tour family, my War Tour crew. I mean, I've joined along with them I knew them probably since 2008. I knew Cameron, my boy Cameron, since 2006 or 2007. But I've been rolling with them since 2009 when they were kind of mid-wave doing the War Tour crew, traveling all over and doing music, rocking shows. I joined in as their video guy, and they kind of developed me in many ways, kind of mentored me as an artist, challenged me as a Christian. A lot of maturing processes have happened with those guys. So that's super cool. And what's so nice about those guys is that, or working with them, is that we complemented each other. All of us have gifts and talents, and the way that we've been working for a long time now is that everything that we tried to do for a period of time was done internally. We didn't have to outsource. We didn't have to go somewhere else in order to make music, make art, make great content. Everything was done internally. I did graphics. Somebody else helped produce. Somebody else mixed and mastered. Somebody else booked shows. And this is all within the crew. So that was the whole point of the War Tour Collective, is that as we all did music or art, it was all done internally, and that was a great period of time. But we mature, our families grow. Well, not my family, obviously, but everybody else has families within the War Tour crew, or at that time, the crew we rolled with. And it came to a point that we can no longer do that because we are busy in our own lives, and as we're all working on individual solo projects, it was hard to give away time, give your time helping somebody else when camera's going crazy, when we're just so busy in our own lives. So it was a lot of sacrifice needed to be done. That was done until it came to a point like, look, I'm just gonna pay you. Can I pay you and you do this? Because I do value, I appreciate your talent, and I would rather pay you than anybody else. So a whole different mentality was now being cultivated. Us respecting each other's time, us appreciating for what we do, and still wanting to do that internally, and therefore paying each other. So it came to a point now within the War Tour crews that we're now helping each other up and allowing us to still do life and sustaining life by supporting each other and paying each other. And that was a very cool mental shift. Is that realizing that time is precious, much more valuable than money. Time is precious. Here we are doing these things. So what influenced me from the technical point to come to this album and produce it as such, I think, top-notch quality, is that you have to start paying people. There is no way that you as an artist can support your life just on favors. Or just I'll give you credits, producer's credits, or you can't live like that. There's no way you can self-sustain if you continuously do that. So another thing I've learned is to pay people in what they're worth. If you like their work, pay them. And I've been doing that. Every single beat on this album was paid for. I did not get a chance to produce any of it, and neither of the people from the War Tour crew produced any of it. I've paid people for those beats and bought every single one of them. Beats averaging from $30 to $250 per beat. So paying people is very, very important. And within the War Tour crew, we started doing that, and we still love each other, appreciate each other and each other's time, and we value each other's time so much more. So before trying to, you know, abuse somebody or take advantage of them, like really consider the time and input they're putting into it, the time they spend, and that's much more valuable than money. The older you get, the more you realize time is money, and the time you spend is valuable. You don't care about the money you lose, but you do care about the time you lose, because money comes in and goes, time does not come back. So that's the thing. And within our Warped Tour crew, J7, I mean, we've supported each other in any way that we could. You know, when we didn't have the time, we still made time for each other in order to just help each other do projects, do music. Paul, man, with Paul, man, my friend Paul, BIGP or PZ, now part of the BQM Empire crew, record label BQM. Man, I've gave him all my studio equipment because I realized, hey, I was not making music up to a level that where it was worth for me to keep those resources, all the equipment, and not. I felt guilty. I felt kind of a conviction that I have these resources and they're not being used to its fullest potential. So I gave them all the studio equipment. And happily, that was actually better for me because now the studio equipment sits somewhere where I could go and record and not need to do this by myself anymore. So when I do go record, there's a crew and they're helping me out. So you record with somebody and the process is much faster. This used to be a very introverted, like personal thing that I did not like anybody to be around, but I spent a lot of time doing that, which is exhausting in the long term. Oh, look, another 528i. It's cool when you see a similar car and you just see your sister on the road. I'm gonna say a thumbs up to them. She doesn't get it. All right. So my friend Paul, man, we did awesome things together in terms of making music, and you know, it's reciprocal. The feeling is very mutual, and we just get each other's back, support each other any way we can. So I'm super appreciative for that. And with Paul, likewise, making top, good quality, notch music with BQM, and they're setting down the foundation for the Bay Area. I mean, a lot of the Bay Area cats need to look up to them. Here we are. We were at a show recently, and man, you have all these rappers lip syncing, and we're just like, dude, are you serious? Like, Paul comes up with his BQM crew, just kills it. Not lip syncing, just some ad-libs in the instrumental track, but just kills it, and then puts gently and lovingly and kindly puts them to sleep. And then that's what I'm talking about, quality, man. You strive for quality that that is gonna blow the minds of people. That's my location here. And one more person that I think really is a big influence in this album of what it is my friend Louis. Louis out of Texas, man. Louis the Great. You can follow him on Instagram. Louis Godson Hip Hop. I mean, Louis came on as a fan who heard my music somehow, and just like over a long period of time, ever since my last album came out, like he heard it and was super supportive. And Louis is kind of like a dream caster. He casts a dream, not only for himself, but for others. You know, if you follow his Facebook, if you follow his Instagram, you'll see that Louis is blessed beyond bounds, and he is very humble about it. But yet, by sharing his testimonies to other people, he casts dreams and visions for them. So there's this one time Louis was just like, oh, you should work sooner or later, or I see you working with this guy and this guy, so-and-so, you know? And we just share like songs between each other. Oh, check out this track, it's dope. Oh yeah, check out this track, it's dope. You know, just like not only as Christians but as hip hop junkies, hip hop heads, we understand like, oh, he would like that, and this is his style. So, this is kind of the album influences from the technical point of view. Louis is a huge influence. He was at a time, I paid my friend 4J, he living in Ukraine at that time, a big chunk of money to mix my album. Now, 4J is very new school in terms of mixing, and he was very new at this as well. He started mixing my album, and I personally, hey, no, bro, I love you, but I did not like it because it sounded too new school. I mean, the highs are very high pitched, the mids are very raised up, so the final quality of the mix and master sounds new school, and I needed to be more boom bap, raw, and organic hip hop. So came to a point where I paid him all up ahead of time. It just didn't work out. I'm like, hey, you know what I mean? Sorry, I can't continue doing this. Don't worry about it. And at that time, he already spent the money, but this is like when Ukraine is going through war, when the dollar is devalued and people are broke. So it's like, it's cool. You know, I supported a brother and he didn't die from hunger, you know what I mean? And I was able to still help him out regardless if I like the music or not. So now I'm looking for more people. I'm thinking like, man, I need a hip hop junkie to mix this. Where am I gonna find somebody? I mean, how much am I gonna pay, and what am I gonna like do? So this is where Louis comes in. Hey, have you checked out Theory Hazard's new album, The Fall of the Lightbearer? And I have not. You know, I've been following Theory Hazard's music for a very long time, and listening to him a lot. I mean, I love some of my favorite albums by Theory Hazard, and he's just a hip hop junkie. And understands it. So, you know, and the reason why I didn't follow it was just because I was like traveling up and down the West Coast, living who knows where, San Diego, and I wasn't really updated with what's happening in the CHH Christian hip hop industry. You know, what's new coming out. So I was kind of out of it. So I just didn't know. So Louis tells me, hey, if you heard Theory's new album, and I went and looked and heard it. I'm like, oh man, I gotta check it out, definitely. So I was listening to Theory Hazard's album, and I'm like, whoa, this album is amazing. I love it. So, but at one point, Theory Hazard raps about artists coming wanting to get for free, take advantage of each other, and not paying, you know. And I'm like, dude, the struggle is real, and I know what that's like. It's so discouraging, and you know, you got bills to pay and mouths to feed, and people are wanting to exploit each other. Yeah, so he raps about it. So what's really cool is that after I heard that, I'm like, hey, let me just write him. Let me just write Theory, and just out of curiosity, how much does he charge? I write him. He gets back at me and hits me up and says, hey, I do like 50 per track, and like whatever is, you know, overtime above that. So I'm like, cool, when can we start? Next thing you know it, I have Theory Hazard mixing and mastering my album. I mean, like, this is somebody who I looked up to. So when I started this whole hip hop, even before I like did this whole hip hop thing, this is somebody I listened to, and I'm like, dude, I mean, this is awesome, amazing, you know. And next thing you know it, here I am working with him, paying him out of respect and out of joy, paying him, knowing that this helps him live life and support himself and pay bills, feed children, and I am getting good quality material in return. And never in my dreams would I ever imagine that. So here's Theory Hazard mixing my album. And it sounds so good. I'm listening to the tracks and I'm like, I can't believe this is my music. It is so good. And I'm not boasting about it. I just can't believe it's so good quality. So the vision the dream that Louis has casted turned into a reality just by staying engaged. And I'm like, man, this is so much. I love fans like that, because I believe like a lot of my fans of my music are like my best friends. I could be real good friends with them because we understand each other and we complement each other in very good ways. And I think what Louis did there is just amazing. Not even being aware of where this would lead. So here I am now paying Theory Has It for the mixing and mastering. Now I had to get something quality because we have DJ Average Joe. Now DJ Average Joe, he is one of the DJs that does most of the mixing and mastering and all this scratching, DJ scratching, turntablism scratching, the cuts for the Lamp Mode artists, you know, SO, Timothy Brindle, Shy Lane, you know, because in my mind, I'm like, I need some scratches on my first track of my album, and I'm like, who in the world do I know who's good? I hit up DJ Because from one of my favorite hip-hop crews, Logic, and he's like, okay, cool, let's do it. I sent him the tracks. He's like, dude, I can't, I just don't get it. I can't, like, not that he can't, but he just couldn't get the rhythm of the song or something. It just wasn't able to. So I'm like, okay, who's the next person? I hit up Lamp Mode. I think Esso. I hit his Instagram account. I'm like, dude, who do I contact? DJ Esso, who do I contact to do some scratches for me? Are you able to do it? How much it cost? You know, so he directs me to DJ Average Joe. DJ Average Joe is a perfectionist. I mean, I appreciate the brother so much. He's like, all right, this is how much I charge, you know, and the only thing about my scratches is that I mix your final track in music, because I don't like when people take my cuts and rearrange it and don't align the cuts as they should be the way I intended it to be. So I'm like, dude, no problem, sure, mix my track. So DJ Average Joe, he he mixes the track so well that he set a standard. This is the first track of the album that you can't ignore. So he set the standard for the album that I had to get somebody matched to that. You know, and it's pretty busy in life, so getting him to mix master would have been a lot longer, but I still was ready to pay. So DJ Average Joe set such a high standard that I had to find somebody else. So here I am working with Theory Has It, and the album is awesome. I mean, when I say that, it is unlike any of the work that you've heard before, and I truly encourage you to check out the album once it comes out. But if you haven't contributed yet, take in mind all these things that have been done and kind of this whole story in mind of what it took to actually bring this music to you. I mean, it's such a selfless thing when you spend all the resources and all this time just so another person could be blessed by it. I mean, artists, man, we just think so differently. What's the point of doing all this? Maybe to get some more fans and new Instagram followers and, you know, some encouraging letters. I mean, where is the payoff in that? But I don't think it's about me. Even though I'm very vulnerable with the stories that I talk about and was very transparent in the content of the music, it's not about me. It's about Jesus Christ and His gospel. It's just the good news of the gospel that Jesus brings freedom. So as I share this with people, fine, I might not prosper in any way materialistically, but I believe I will prosper in the gospel. And that is worth so much more. It's intangible. You can't see the payoff here on earth, but you do see the payoff in character, and you will see a payoff in heaven. So that's the whole point behind this. Making top quality material for the glory of Christ. And at the same time, why am I doing this? So you'll be aware of what it took to get up to this point of reaching such quality material, that it's not for free, and it's not without spending time and resources. So with that in mind, please do consider supporting this Kickstarter campaign, not so I can get this money and pay myself back for all the time that for all the resources that I spent, but so I can spend online marketers like Hype, Big Shot, Christian magazines to advertise this stuff on their websites, so this could spread even farther than just my circle of friends on Facebook and the people that they might share it with, but much farther of people that have never heard of me, never heard of my music, but to whom this album will serve as a healing thing, as aid to their souls, to their brokenness, in the light of the good news of Jesus Christ, that He is the one who saves us from our sins, from our shame, offering us salvation for those who believe in Him. All right, I'm done. Blessings to you, and for all the people in the background that helped me achieve this album at such quality. Like, this album is for you. You are a vital part of what this album is, and without you, I don't think I'd be able to do it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. The fans, thank you so much. The friends, thank you so much. Supporters, thank you so much. And to those who contributed to the Kickstarter campaign, thank you so much. And for those who are planning to, I ask and humbly ask you, like, please, but at the same time, thank you so much. Yeah, that's it, man. We're done.